My name is Sarah Mitchell, and the officer broke my arm during a wellness check at my own apartment in Colorado Springs. Not during a struggle, not during resistance. He broke it because I asked to see his warrant before letting him inside, and my locked door was apparently an insult worth shattering my radius and ulna against my doorframe. It started with a knock at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. I'd just gotten home from Fort Carson after a 16-hour day reviewing deployment readiness reports for my brigade. Still in civilian clothes, jeans, a Colorado Rockies t-shirt, barefoot. I was microwaving leftovers when someone pounded on my door, hard enough to rattle the frame. I looked through the peephole. 2 police officers, Colorado Springs PD. The one in front, Officer Brian Kelly, had his hand near his weapon. His partner stood back, looking uncomfortable. I opened the door with the chain still engaged. "Ma'am, we received a domestic disturbance call from this address. We need to come in and verify everyone's safety." "There's no disturbance. I live alone. I just got home from work." "Ma'am, we need to verify that. Open the door." "Can I see the call report? What was the specific complaint?" His expression hardened. "We don't need to show you anything. Open the door now, or you're obstructing a police investigation. Red flags everywhere. Legitimate wellness checks come with explanations, with de-escalation, with basic courtesy. This dealt wrong, aggressive from the first word, demanding entry without justification. Officer, I'm happy to speak with you out here, but I'm not comfortable letting you into my home without understanding the basis for this check. The basis is, we got a call? Now open this door." "What did the caller say? Who called?" "That's confidential. Last warning, open the door or we're coming in anyway. You need a warrant to enter without my consent." That's when Kelly's patience snapped. "We don't need a fucking warrant for a welfare check." He slammed his palm against the door, making me step back. "You've got 3 seconds. 1, I'm not opening. 2, without a warrant. 3. He kicked the door. The chain held, but the frame cracked. His partner said something. "Kelly, wait!" But Kelly kicked again, harder, and the chain tore free from the doorframe. I stumbled backward as he burst in, his momentum carrying him directly at me. I raised my hands defensively. "Stop! This is illegal entry!" And he grabbed my right arm, twisted it up behind my back in a compliance hold. "You're under arrest for obstruction." "I didn't obstruct anything. You broke into my home." He torqued my arm higher, forcing me up onto my toes to avoid shoulder dislocation. Pain screamed through my shoulder, down my arm. "Shut up and comply." "I am complying. You're hurting me." "Then stop resisting." He pushed me forward toward my couch, his grip on my wrist vicious. My arm bent at an angle joints weren't designed for. My body went where he forced it, but my arm couldn't follow the physics he demanded. I felt something give in my forearm, a pop, then a wet crack, like breaking green wood. The pain went from intense to nuclear, white-hot agony exploding from my radius. My vision grayed at the edges, nausea surging. "My arm! You broke my arm!" "Stop resisting, and I'll stop restraining." He shoved me down onto the couch, finally releasing the shattered arm. It hung wrong, the forearm at an angle that didn't match the bone structure underneath. Shock tried to pull me under, but training kept me conscious. His partner finally intervened. "Jesus Christ, Kelly. Her arm. She was standing there. You broke down her door and..." The partner looked at me, at my arm clearly broken, at his partner's rage. She pulled out his radio. "Dispatch, we need an ambulance at 847 Maple Street, apartment 3B. Subject has a broken arm." "Subject was resisting," Kelly shouted. I tried to speak through the pain. "I wasn't resisting. I was asking for a warrant." "You refused a lawful order. You had no authority to enter without a warrant or exigent circumstances." Exigent circumstances was a domestic disturbance call. "What disturbance? I live alone. There's no one else here." I gestured at my 1-bedroom apartment, clearly occupied by a single person, no signs of struggle, no evidence of anything wrong. Kelly looked around, seeing what I saw, 1 set of keys by the door. one coffee mug in the sink, one pair of shoes by the couch. No evidence of a domestic dispute. No evidence of anything except a woman home alone eating leftovers. His partner spoke quietly. Kelly, what was the call? Exactly. Dispatch said domestic disturbance, loud noises, possible assault. At this address? Yeah, this address. Kelly pulled out his radio. Dispatch, can you confirm the address for that domestic call? 847 Maple, apartment 3B. Uh-huh. His face went pale. Are you sure? The partner watched Kelly's expression change. What? The call was for 847 Maple Street, apartment 2B, second floor. Kelly looked around my third-floor apartment, recognition dawning. We're on the wrong floor. Silence. The kind of silence that fills space before everything collapses. You broke into the wrong apartment? The partner's voice was barely a whisper. The caller said apartment 2B. I thought they said 3B. And you didn't verify? Before breaking down the door? I spoke through gritted teeth, my arm a symphony of agony. You broke down my door and shattered my arm because you heard the wrong apartment number. Kelly tried to salvage it. Ma'am, in the heat of the moment, these things happen. These things happen? Breaking into the wrong home, assaulting an innocent person, fracturing her arm, that's just heat of the moment? The ambulance arrived. Paramedics splinted my arm, their faces showing they'd seen this story before. Cops screwing up, civilians paying the price. They loaded me onto a stretcher, started an IV for pain medication that barely touched the screaming in my arm. Ma'am, we need to take you to Memorial Hospital, the lead paramedic said. Fine, and I need you to document everything. The forced entry, the illegal detention, the excessive force, all of it. We will. Kelly followed the stretcher out. Ma'am, I need to get your statement. My statement is, you broke into the wrong apartment, assaulted me without cause, and shattered my arm. Don't speak to me again without my lawyer present. At the hospital, they x-rayed the arm. Compound fracture of the radius, hairline fracture of the ulna, severe soft tissue damage. Required immediate surgery, open reduction internal fixation with plates and screws. The orthopedic surgeon looked at the x-rays and asked what happened. Police officer twisted my arm during an arrest. He had the wrong apartment. The surgeon's expression darkened. This kind of fracture requires significant force. This wasn't accidental. I know. They prepped me for surgery. The anesthesiologist was going through consent forms when a nurse knocked. Dr. Shaw, there's a Colonel Webb here asking about the patient. I knew that name. Colonel Marcus Webb, Fort Carson staff judge advocate. But I hadn't called anyone from base yet. Pain and shock had kept me focused on just surviving. Send him in. Webb appeared in scrubs. They'd made him change to enter the surgical prep area. He took one look at my arm, swollen and misshapen in the temporary splint, and his face went through several emotions in rapid succession. Colonel Mitchell, what the hell happened? Police forced entry into my apartment, responding to the wrong address. Officer broke my arm when I asked for a warrant. They broke your arm over a wrong address? Compound fracture. Needs surgery. I'm going under in about 5 minutes. Webb pulled out his phone, started making calls, even as the surgical team prepared around us. I heard fragments. Full colonel. Wrongful entry. Broken arm. Surgery now. Yes, General Harrison should be notified. The anesthesiologist looked uncomfortable. Sir, we really need to start. 2 more minutes. Webb turned to me. Ma'am, don't sign anything. Don't give any statements. Don't talk to CSPD without Jag present. I'll have someone here when you wake up. How did you even know I was here? Your downstairs neighbor called base security when she heard your door being broken down and police dragging you out. She's retired Air Force, recognized you from the 4th of July base picnic. She called everyone she could think of when the cops wouldn't listen to her. The anesthesia pulled me under before I could respond, but my last thought was gratitude for a neighbor who'd seen something wrong and called for help when the system failed. I woke up 4 hours later with a plate and 6 screws in my radius, 3 pins in my ulna, and Major General Patricia Harrison, the Fort Carson commanding general, sitting in a chair beside my hospital bed. Colonel Mitchell. Her voice was gentle, but her expression was pure fury. How are you feeling? Like my arm was shattered by a cop who can't tell the difference between 2B and 3B, ma'am. I've been briefed. It's worse than you know. She pulled out a tablet, showed me a report. Officer Kelly has 17 excessive force complaints in 4 years. 14 were dismissed as unfounded. 3 resulted in settlements paid quietly by the city. He has a pattern of aggressive entries, excessive force, and retaliatory violence when people assert rights. And they kept him on the street. Until tonight. He's been suspended. The Colorado Springs chief of police called me personally to apologize. The DA's office is reviewing for criminal charges. And ma'am, she paused. The neighbor who called base security, she filmed the entire thing from her doorway. The forced entry, the assault, all of it. She filmed it, every second. I did. The video showed everything from her angle across the hall. Kelly pounding on my door, me opening it with the chain on, speaking calmly. Kelly's escalation, his kicks breaking down the door, his rush inside, the sounds of the struggle, my voice saying stop, saying you're hurting me, then the crack audible even through the door, followed by my scream. The audio caught Kelly's voice, stop resisting. My voice, pain raw. I'm not resisting. You broke my arm. The video was damning, clear, undeniable. This is already with the DA, General Harrison said, but we're also pursuing this through military channels. You're a field-grade officer assaulted in your home by local law enforcement. The Army takes that seriously. The investigation moved fast. The video evidence made everything simple. Colorado Springs PD tried to claim Kelly acted reasonably based on what he believed was a domestic disturbance. The DA pointed out he broke into the wrong apartment, assaulted a woman who'd done nothing wrong, and shattered her arm when she asked for a warrant. The wrongful entry alone was criminal trespass. Add the assault, the broken arm, the reckless disregard for basic police work. Kelly was charged with second-degree assault, criminal trespass, and official misconduct. His trial took 6 months. I testified with my arm still in physical therapy, reduced strength, permanent hardware, chronic pain that would last years, described asking politely for a warrant, being met with violence, feeling my arm break, the shock and agony. Kelly's defense tried to argue he acted in good faith based on the dispatch call. The prosecutor played the 911 call, clearly stating apartment 2B, then played Kelly's radio chatter where he told his partner they were going to 3B. He heard the address wrong, didn't verify, broke down the wrong door, and assaulted an innocent woman. That's not good faith. That's negligence that became assault. The jury watched the neighbor's video, heard me asking for a warrant, heard Kelly's rage, heard my arm break, heard me scream. They convicted him on all charges. The judge sentenced him to 5 years in prison, citing reckless and brutal assault on a senior military officer in her own home and systematic disregard for civil rights. But the real justice came from systemic changes. Colorado Springs PD reformed completely. New protocols for verifying addresses before forced entry, mandatory body cameras, civilian review board for all use of force incidents. 3 other officers with patterns similar to Kelly's were fired. 17 of Kelly's previous complaints were reinvestigated. 9 people had their assault charges dropped. 4 received settlements. 2 were released from jail. My arm healed crooked. The hardware set off metal detectors. I lost grip strength in my right hand, had to relearn signatures, adapt my fighting stance, accept permanent changes from one cop's mistake and rage. I kept the x-rays, the surgical photos, the neighbor's video, not as trophies, but as evidence that badges don't override basic humanity, that mistakes become crimes when mixed with violence, that authority without accountability breaks more than doors. My name is Colonel Sarah Mitchell. I'm in the United States Army with 28 years of service, and I learned that bad cops make mistakes, but mistakes don't excuse violence. Hearing 3B instead of 2B is a mistake. Breaking down a door without verification is negligence. Shattering someone's arm when they ask for a warrant is assault. Officer Kelly broke my arm because I asserted my Fourth Amendment rights. He learned I was a full colonel when General Harrison showed up at the hospital demanding answers. By then, my arm was full of hardware. His career was over. His freedom was ending. All because he couldn't pause long enough to verify an address before kicking down a door. All because asking for a warrant made him angry enough to break bones. The arm healed wrong. The pain is permanent. But Kelly's got 5 years to think about the 30 seconds he should have spent, checking which apartment, before destroying a life. Sometimes the person whose arm you break in the wrong apartment turns out to be a colonel who ends your career and reforms your entire department. Kelly learned that too late, but every cop in Colorado Springs knows it now. Verify addresses, control your temper, and remember that the person asking for a warrant isn't resisting. They're exercising rights that no badge can override. Even when they're standing in the wrong apartment you just broke into.